Now your list and mine might not be the same. We all need our vices to keep ourselves sane. Some days are sunny, some have rain. The Buddhists might be right that existence is pain. Give us our cheese, coffee, chocolate, whiskey and wine. I'm not here for a haircut, just a good time. Gastronomic hedonism makes me feel fine. Give me some cheese, coffee, chocolate, whiskey and wine. Have some of mine. It's party time!
Yeah!
Over to you.
On your Viking.
Yeah, good one.
Good evening. Welcome to episode 4 of Smash It Up Melbourne, here in beautiful downtown Swan Street, Richmond, the only music show that features 3 members of the Royal Melbourne Yacht Club. Thanks everyone to come to this capacity crowd. My name's Matty Munsta. Here we are, beautiful downtown Swan Street, Richmond, Pome. On tonight's show, we have Penny Ikinger, Charlie Barker shows their arts with special guest Darby Hudson.
Yeah.
Viking's here, who we already met.
Hey.
And Fred and Viv with the late entrance.
Yeah.
And tonight's special co-host is Spooky Records owner and Mixer of the Stars, Loki Lockwood.
Yay. Hey.
Thanks for coming on, Lock.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I was just saying to you before, the last time I saw you was at the Corner Hotel when you were mixing for Lydia Lunch.
Yeah, it's a second tour I've done for her. So, she's quite a powerhouse, I reckon. Killer band and a lot of fun to work for.
Yeah, I've spoken on the phone twice, and it's one of the few times I'm very on my feet.
Yeah.
But she's a great lady. It was a great gig.
Yeah.
So, how you been keeping? You've been busy?
I got pretty involved with a lot of mastering and stuff through COVID, and I've also been reinvigorating a music career. So that's a bit of a crazy thing to do at my age, but anyway, we'll see what happens.
It's never too late.
Yeah, never too late.
And speaking of that, so tell us about the project that you released at the start of the year.
Okay, well, I sort of planned to leave teaching and start this project, and I was always chasing a singer to work with, but COVID, of course, put the brakes on that. So I decided, what am I going to do? I've always had a passion for like cinematic music, so I thought, well, I've got a lot of material sitting there, put an album out. Second lockdown came along. What am I going to do? Do another album. So I actually got 25 tracks out last year. In the meantime, I've been writing furiously, and so I've got like about 3 albums worth of stuff sitting waiting for a singer. I think I might have someone yet to be announced, but it's all pretty exciting.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, the project name is Velveteen, just for
check it out on Bandcamp.
Loki at lockdown, was that fun?
It
You
was.
owned it.
Look, I loved it. I'm afraid to say, like it was.
They should have it every year.
Yeah. It was really, I think a lot of people really, sort of found creative things to do. That so it pushed a lot of people in different directions. I hope it was the case for a lot of you guys out there. So yeah.
And you mentioned teaching RMITs where you teach.
Yeah, I've been there for about eight years or something. I started as a mentor, got dragged into classroom, quit classroom, and I'm back as a mentor. So mostly studio stuff with small groups. And, it's an environment where you feel like you can give back to the industry, which has always sort of been probably a really important part of what I do. Running a record label, financially, it's a very borderline thing. I refer to it as a vanity project. So,
Well, I mean, your Spooky Records, I mean, thank God we have that label because what we would have missed out on.
Well, we're up to 60 albums, I think, now. Yeah, so, I mean, it's over 21 years. We missed our 21st birthday, unfortunately, but, you know, you can fake that shit, can't you?
I suppose speaking of mentoring and Spooky, you mentored one of my favourite bands, friends of ours, the Braves.
Oh, right, yeah, they're great band. Yeah, right. Moving right along.
Okay.
You know, bands are relationships, so you know they can very easily fall apart. So you know, sort of unfortunate. I thought they had a real good thing going for them. There's a couple of albums in the catalogue, so you know if you want to revisit the past, they're definitely something to look at. They actually made the Spencer tribute record. Spencer was actually very fond of them too, so yeah.
And you released Fugitive Songs, one of my favourite albums by the great man.
Yeah, I actually mixed that one. Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
And you, of course, appeared in the Little Murders doco as well.
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, I got interviewed at the toe, you know. Try not to be shy of the camera. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming along tonight, Loki.
My pleasure.
And,
great to be here.
Cheers. And on you to Fred and Viv, who are also here.
Yeah.
How's your week in sport then, Fred?
It's been very good, thanks. I've been doing lots of paintings of horny babies.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
That's cool.
Well, look forward to seeing what you do as the show goes along. I think it's time to get our musical guest on tonight.
Why not?
Please welcome Penny Ikinger.
Yeah.
Percussion. There is a field, it's covered with snow. Each day I cross it to reach my home. And on the field, beneath my toes, grow poison berries like purple foes. One step, two steps. One step, two steps. One step, two steps. One step, two steps. Between the dusk, between the dawn, I tread lightly, I travel so slow. Don't look behind, keep your eyes ahead. If you crush those berries, you'll be better off dead. You'd be better off dead. You'd be better off dead. There is a field, it's covered with snow. Each day I cross it to reach my home. And on the field beneath my toes grow poison berries like purple foes. Like purple foes. Thank you.
On your penny, cheers for that. Give it up for Penny again.
Thank you.
I'll join the pube.
A fine mess of rock.
Come in the middle.
Oh, sorry. Between the boys.
Yeah, between the boys.
Just how I like it.
Oh, thanks for coming on, Penny. That was great.
Yeah,
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, 10-minute song, how did that come about?
Oh, I don't know. I just run with it. I never know how long it's going to be when I play it.
You just keep going till you think that's enough.
Yeah, sometimes it goes even longer than that. Sometimes the intro's 10 minutes. Not that there'd be many people still sitting here by the time the song starts. But, you know. Yeah.
So, how you been this last 12 months in Queen?
Good. I like you. I got a lot done in lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot done.
Well, we've had a few shows. Well, at least one since at the JP.
Yeah.
Shiloh,
That's
one
right.
recently.
Yep.
Yeah. So we bump into each other a bit.
Yeah. When we're allowed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was good. I got a lot of writing done. I studied some music. I actually was studying Greek Rebettica music. Do you know this music, the Greek blues? I was doing singing classes via Zoom from Thessaloniki. Believe it or not. Because I really love the music. I love the melodies. I love the time signatures.
They're like
Quite
folk
complicated.
songs, aren't they?
Yeah, Greek blues, like folk music from the 1920s.
Sounds Irish.
Early 1900s.
Wow.
Yeah, there could be a bit of a Celtic influence there.
Yeah.
So, it's actually in Greek?
Yeah, in Greek.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
An example?
No, I don't think I want to do it here. No.
Go on.
Leave her alone.
You're in Richmond.
Yeah, no.
You should long more.
Some other time.
So, Pen, I saw you at the last night at Off Hip Records, and you actually told the story of the Pennycast and how that came about
Yeah.
from Sydney.
Yeah, the Pennycaster was made in Sydney by a business organisation company, whatever you call it, Rock Repairs. They don't exist anymore. And someone made the neck and someone made the body, and then someone stuck them both together.
Frankenstein.
And I designed the guitar. So she's very precious to
And
me.
how old is she? She.
She's not as old as me.
Good answer.
Yes. I think she was made in around 1985. Were you even born then, Maddie?
No.
That's scary, isn't it? Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Yeah. Yeah, and I designed it. It's got 2 Bill Lawrence L500. I think they were from Los Angeles. They're not made anymore. P90. The body's Honduras mahogany, which was the heaviest wood, densest, heaviest wood I could actually lift. She's quite heavy.
Wow.
What's her name?
The Pennycaster.
Oh,
Yeah.
How many bands do you have? 'Cause
It's famous. It's famous.
How many bands do you have? Because you got one in Australia, one in America, and one in Japan, one in Europe.
Yeah, I've had 2 in Australia actually. Oh, I've had more than 2 in Australia. I've had one in Sydney, and I've had a band in Melbourne, and in France, Dimi Dero playing drums,
Yeah.
Vince playing bass. And Japan, yes, I recorded my last album in Tokyo with some Japanese psychedelic rock musicians.
Amazing record, that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and they came here. We launched the album here and we launched it in Tokyo
And what's on the cards?
for the future.
Yeah. Or you're just in a holding pattern like a lot of us.
No, I've always got things on the brew.
Yeah.
I'm just, at the moment, I'm trying to do some co-writing with other musicians.
Okay, cool.
And I'm working on a song with, started working on a song with Kim Salmon.
Great.
And I want to write with different people. I think that's a really good way to learn more about songwriting.
It is a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm also started writing my memoirs.
Ooh, tasty.
Yeah. Tell all or
No, it won't be tell all. I don't think so. Unless I make it up.
Well, you know, it can be a good thing to do, I reckon.
Yeah, I might have to spice it up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm about to do some recording with a band called Howling Threads.
Freds.
Do you know this band?
Howling Freds.
No, not Threads.
Do I hear?
where they from?
Yes, and Wollongong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Radiohead were called Freds.
And what else?
Playing with James McCann and
Yeah, at the Tote.
at the Tote on the 17th, eh?
Yes, 18th, I think, July, Sunday. And then in September, I'm going to do some band gigs.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Cool.
here in Melbourne. I don't know when I'll be going away anywhere, though.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, but anyway.
Yeah.
Your family history, you actually have an amazing link to footy here in Melbourne. Would want to tell the people that story?
I think you're referring to my
Your
grandfather,
grandfather, yes.
whose name was Gordon Kitchener Rattray. And he was a star footballer and coach for Fitzroy. And he was the first football player to use the torpedo punt. So he invented the torpedo punt. And he was ambidextrous, so he could kick with both legs.
Oh, fantastic.
And also the first coach to allow Aboriginal players into the same changing room as non-Aboriginal players, which wasn't done at that time. So this was in the 1920s.
Oh, wow. Oh, amazing man.
Yeah.
Did he
Good on
ever,
him.
did he ever get you in the backyard to try and teach you a mongrel?
That's mongrel.
Mongrel punt?
No. What is a mongrel?
Well, torpedo.
Oh, right, okay. No. No. But, you know, there were girls didn't really play football then, did they? It's a recent thing, isn't it? For women, am I right?
No, they've always played.
Who knows about football? I know.
I know a bit about rock and roll.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, speaking of rock and roll, so you collaborated with Kim Salmon,
Yeah.
Dennis Tech and Jim Dickinson.
Yeah.
Any other big A-listers we've forgotten?
Well, I've been playing a long time. I played with all sorts of people.
One in
played with
Sydney.
Sydney, Lewis Tillett,
They were great.
who's a fine
Texas.
singer, songwriter, pianist. Played in a band, Wet Taxis.
Great band.
That was
Yeah.
the first
I
band
bet
I
you remember
played
in
in.
the audience.
I know, there's another one here. And Charlie Owen.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm also playing in a band called Epic Brass, which you've probably seen.
I haven't seen, no.
Well, then you're missing out on
Jack.
something.
I know quite a lot about them, though.
That's Jack Howard's
Weren't you going to
band.
play Brunswick Ballroom?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, I was going to come to that, and what happened?
The lockdown.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
remember that? Yeah.
Of course, Epic Brass, one of the few bands that can really nail down a birthday party song, which is a hard thing to do, but you do a cracking version of Nick the Stripper.
Thank you. It was a rocky ride, that song. It's not easy, and it's one of the
I can
most
imagine,
difficult songs I've ever done. But I think I've kind of got the gist of it now. But it was a bit up and down for a while. Yeah, but what an amazing song.
Oh, it's a gripping song. It's very hard to do, so I'm impressed that you guys can pull it off.
There is a
Pull it off.
recording of me doing it on the Bandcamp side, which is just fantastic. With Penny singing it, our very first gig.
Oh, that's right, from Life of Memo.
Sensation.
Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever sung it live. So. Yeah.
Also, it was about 18 months ago, you did a split 7-inch with Baby 8. You're doing
Yeah.
for the Vinyls Boys in Town.
Yeah. Yeah, vinyl single. We're selling them over there. There's the merch corner at the corner of the bar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What an amazing song.
Oh, yeah. And you nail it. So.
Thank you.
And again, Epic Brass at Gershon Room, you did that song there. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Epic Brass can play anything. You just throw them any song, they can do it.
And I guess aside from the James McCann gig at the Tote, anything else? Any other gigs on the horizon?
Oh, I did have another one end of July, but that's just got blown out. September I'll be playing again. I'm playing at the Tote again in the front bar. I think it's Sunday the 5th of September. I could be wrong on the date. And then I've got a few more coming up at Swamplands and I need my diary.
Maybe you can tell us later.
Yeah. I'll remember.
Go and check.
Yeah. Do Epic Brass have anything coming up?
It's so hard to pin down a date at the moment.
Yeah.
All the gigs just being delayed. It's impossible to actually pin the date down. So we're waiting.
Yeah, you get confused. Like you book all these dates and then they get postponed
Yeah.
for an indefinite period because of the lockdown, and then you just get really confused, and so that's why I can't remember. I'm sorry.
And you're sort of wondering whether it's going to happen 2 nights out.
Yes,
Yeah, I got a
exactly.
show Saturday, and it was sort of like, oh, is this really going to happen? Because a lot of venues are going, oh, we're not opening this weekend. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be trying to tour interstate or anything.
Well, hopefully it's all up from here.
Yeah.
Thanks, Penny. Yeah, up for a few more songs.
Yeah.
So,
great.
Yeah. Okay.
see you in a bit.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I've done my time under the sycamore tree. Someone come and rescue me. Rescue me. From the sycamore tree, rescue me. Cold winds blow under the sycamore tree. Wild weeds grow all over me. Rescue me from the sycamore tree. Rescue me. Someone calls to the sycamore tree. Could he be the one to hear my plea? Rescue me from the sycamore tree. Rescue me. Rescue me from the sycamore tree. Rescue me from the sycamore tree. Thank you. Raise your lantern to the skies. Someone's lost at sea tonight. Sailed so far to touch the sky. No place for a mortal guy. Boys gone, boys gone. The boys gone. Father, hurry to the shore. Bring your boat with the sturdy oars. Mother, give your gold to me. Cast it forth into the sea. Boys gone, boys gone. The boys gone. I've been waiting here for days, waiting just to see your face. A boy is gone, it's no surprise. Left me shipwrecked, alone I cry. Boy's gone, boy's gone. The boy's gone, boy, he's gone. The boy's gone, boy's gone. The boy's gone, boy's gone. A boy, he's gone. A boy, he's gone. A boy, he's gone. A boy, he's gone. Thank you.
Up next, we have the third member of the Royal Melbourne Yacht Club that's on the show. For the classy part of the start, please welcome Charlie Barker. We're going to get in the middle, yeah. We're going to sting it for you too.
Hi, Charlie. How are you?
We're going to sting it for you too.
If you see a shopping trolley when you're heading to the bar, take a look around, Charlie Barker won't be far. With her f-stop open and a motor drive humming, creative juices flowing, DLS are humming. Charlie Barker, you can't go past. Charlie Barker, show us your arts.
Well, it's a lot to live up to. So I do.
Well, the song said show us your art, so what's
All
that
right.
mean?
Well, stuff I found. So I have a special guest again this evening, but I found stuff. I've had plenty of time to find stuff, frankly, and I found more stuff because they got cancelled. Now I found stuff again.
Right.
And I'm going to do a bit of self-spruiking too. Because last week
What's yours?
I found that there is a thing called the Australian Association of Street Photographers Incorporated, which is a very cool group of people that obviously they're doing street photography. Great site if you want to check it out. It's aaspi.com.au. And this woman contacted me. She's also affiliated with an Instagram and a Facebook group called what are they called? Unexposed Collective. And every year they do a photographic exhibition called I'm reading my notes. I can't remember anything. It's really bad. Lockdown's really fried my mind. Called Shot in the Heart of Melbourne. So they do that every year. And this year it's actually the women photographers that are part of both groups.
Oh, great.
And so she gave me a call and she said, if you want to be in? I'm like, yeah, okay. So that's coming up at the, it's called the Victorian Artist Society building in East Melbourne, which I've often wondered what was in there, and now I know. And they're taking up 3 spaces in there, and I'm part of series 1, which is called Tops and Tails, which I think is about, apparently it's about heads and feet, so mine's the feet section. But I'm a bit excited about that. I think it's
Fantastic, yeah.
really
great,
cool.
great.
So yeah, that's going to be 29th of July to the 9th of August, and it's at 430 Albert Street in East Melbourne. And even if you don't go, it's worth checking out. I spent ages looking at their site, aaspi.com.au, so it's worth having a look at that too.
Absolutely.
Going to be trolley shots?
No, it's not. Well, I don't know how to top and tail a trolley. I'm working on it. I do. There is still going to be. I will still have that trolley exhibition if we don't get locked down again at some point. And from there, I have been looking at the MGA, which is the Monash Gallery of Art, which is where the Bounders Prize exhibition runs every year, which I get very sort of focused on that. Missed the deadline, hoping I might be able to do it tonight. So the deadline was yesterday, but they seem to be back on track for September with their exhibition, which last year obviously got totally stuffed around. But the good thing of that was if you're a finalist, which I was, self-speaking again, meant that we had months and months of actually being on the wall online and then the public coming in. But at the moment, they have an exhibition called Develop, which is featuring up-and-coming photographers from, well, I was going to say all photographic schools, but ours isn't. I'm actually studying at the moment and ours isn't featured. But RMIT, Deakin, Monash, VCA and Photography Studies College. So that's probably worth a look too. So it's artists from different genres, Australian photographers. So if you get down there and have a look at that too. Monash, MGA, Monash Gallery of Art is in Wheelers Hill, and if you haven't been there, that's pretty cool too because it's, I think I talked about this already before, designed by Harry Seidler, and I don't know if you don't know who that is, you'd probably be the Rose Seidler House in Sydney, if anyone's into that, into mid-century modernism, very cool house there.
Yeah, right.
We'll get to that. And finally would be the Woodend Winter Arts Festival, which that kind of just came across my face in Facebook. And they had about 5,000 visitors to that, and that's music, but it's also literary and the arts community as well, so international as well as within Australia. And that looks pretty interesting too. So the website for that is woodendwinterartsfestival.org.au. It seems for a bit of culture. If you need some culture, now we're allowed out to see culture. I got a bit interested in that there's a bit of a pottery section in that. I wouldn't mind doing that.
No, great.
So to go for a road trip, that might be a bit of fun.
Fantastic.
Good.
Well, thanks for that, Charlie, and me and Lockie will let go of the back and lead you to the floor.
Yes, well, I'm now going to introduce you to my special guest, Darby Hudson, street poet. So if you haven't heard of Darby Hudson, I think you might have seen his work on the street stuck to a pole, which is kind of how I came across your work, and we happen to share a mutual friend, a long-term mutual friend, best buddy. So I would call you a street poet, but how would you describe what you do?
I've been spamming the shit out of Melbourne, and it's a bit obnoxious, and I've got to sort of pull back a bit, I think. But I photocopy stuff of office works, poems, and then just stick them on street poles, street signs, just all through the inner suburbs.
Yes.
Yeah, they're getting annoying. I'm even annoying myself now. I really am. It's like, he's up to stop it. But so I write little aphorisms, sometimes poetry sort of things.
Yeah.
And just stick them around. And I guess I started off doing it a few years ago, where I had to stick one on a street. I'd think, that's enough. That's enough of Darby in one street. And then with lockdown, I just got a bit out of control and went across, all in the suburbs and didn't stop.
So it's random. You don't pick a spot. You just
it's totally random. Like I just go down a street, up a street, down back alleys, and just sort of anywhere. But that's.
How long have you been writing it?
Yes, I started writing in 2008 when I was on the dole, and they were getting sick of me, and so they sent me to a resume writing course. And so I felt indignant about that, so I just wrote a piss-take resume that included my interests, which included pushing buttons with really smooth push-button action, getting a little bit wet in the rain, quickly running inside, comparing data with completely irrelevant other data. When I applied for every single job on the Age, which is about 2,500 jobs at the time, just indiscriminately, lawyer, bridge builder, engineer, and advertising sort of picked up on it, and they said, "You're a writer, Darby," and I said, "No, I'm not." They said, "Yes, you are," and I said, "No, I'm not." And I sort of ended up in advertising for a few years, and they taught me how to write copy. And they said, "Do you read, Darby?" I said, "No." And he said, "You can't copyright to be a copywriter if you're not reading." And so, so I started reading poetry, and I loved it. And probably the modernist poetry was a bit too clever for me, and maybe a bit too sort of, it wouldn't let me in so easily. But I loved the free verse stuff from a lot of the Americans in the 60s and the 70s. And some of that sort of changed my life, because I was actually an illustrator for a lot of my 20s and 30s, and then not fell into writing, but I felt like a lot of their poetry sort of saved me from my just dark spaces and anxiety, and so I was like, oh my god.
What sort of poets were you reading?
Well, I guess maybe not all of them are poets, but people like Henry Miller, and I loved mental blank. Mary Oliver, she's from the 80s. She's super popular. It was just like a better version of self-help. And I just loved it. And so I started writing, just journaling myself, and just trying to work out how to, maybe I could just help myself through writing this stuff. And I submitted it to a few publications. They took it, and I was accepted as a poet. So I just, that's sort of, I just kept running with that.
So when did you get the idea to start putting it on poles and walls and stuff?
I was probably, that's been done forever, like since the 50s, 60s, or probably earlier, hundreds of years earlier. But I started doing it a few years ago, just when I was just out of boredom, and I just wanted to put a few random sort of cheap, I always find humour in a lot of stuff, so just piss take love poems around Rickenlea. So I love Rickenlea Village, which is where I've been for the last forever. I started doing, but then when lockdown happened, then I started just going everywhere.
Yeah, I found, like, whenever I find you, because I get the camera out and start taking photos of it, but I find because of the brevity of a lot of the stuff that you write, it's kind of, because you don't give a lot, the words to me seem to have more impact. And I guess during lockdown, it was kind of like, it was one of the few entertainment things that I had to go, there's another one. So it's, I think you find it really powerful. It makes the medium more powerful, I think.
Yeah, I love trying to find something pithy that says a lot more in a short amount of space rather than too much waffle. And it also lends itself really well to social media and short attention spans and getting some sort of traction on that as well. I actually ran a competition on my social media thing where I asked people to tell me the shittest things about my poetry, and that's what they had to do. And they said it's not long enough. Most of it was to wank and it's pretentious, but some of it was like, it's not long enough. And it's like, that's interesting. Like, these people who are on, sort of flicking through fast actually want longer stuff. And so I started posting longer stuff, and I was saying too long. And I was like, don't listen to your audience. Just do what you want.
So Tim Rogers recently, it's their latest single, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how did that come about? So there's a song about you.
Yeah, I saw Tim walking down Elwood Canal, where I love walking, and it's hard not to notice him because he's not a human. He's kind of a creature. Like, he actually moves like a. You can't not notice this being, and so. And I just noticed him like peering over hedges, and he was really sort of present, and he wasn't just sort of zombieing along like I was and most people do. And so I just wrote to him under his Instagram page and sort of made these observations about him, and he wrote back a day later and said, "I love your poetry, Darby." So he checked my stuff out, and I said, "I'll send you my books." He goes, "I've already bought them." I was like, "Shit, okay, cool." And then a few months later, he said, "I've written a song about you." And I went, "What?" I was like, but I always feel like most artists will say they'll do something, but it never happens. And I'm okay with that, because I've tried to commit myself to artistic projects, and they never, 2% of them happen. And I think it's sort of whimsical temperament of musicians, artists. It's actually magic to actually make something from the brain or the heart and put it into real life. So yeah, when he sent me the song, I was like, oh my god, he's written this thing, and then all of a sudden it was on the album, and it's like, shit, okay, cool. It's just weird. So that's how that happened. But yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So speaking of said work,
That's
first collection,
Yeah.
Falling Upwards. Second collection, which was put out this year, 100 points of ID to prove I don't exist.
yeah.
Why did you? So this one's independently.
Yeah,
What's that?
this one's independently done.
Why
Tim
did
wrote a
you do
foreword to
that? Oh, okay.
It's why did I do this? The
Independently.
independent.
Why did you do that?
I did the first one through Melbourne Uni Press 5 Island, to do that I had to have a sort of a backlog of stuff that was previously published, and that was cool. But I thought with social media you don't need the arbiters of culture to tell you what isn't good. You can just, if your audience likes it, then they'll buy it. So it's just like, wow, Five Island Press, God bless them, they take 90% of whatever you make. And I know poetry's not a money game, writing it is that's the gift that you get, just writing it. But I figured I can just do this stuff by myself and self-publish it. And and that's the reason I thought, let's do that, because there's an audience there for it. So yeah.
Do you have any available this evening? If anyone would like to purchase one?
Yeah, I've got some. They're normally 26, but I'm just 20 tonight.
Whoa.
Bargain.
Bargain.
So we also notice online, so you've got a
When they're all over the polls.
website, darbyhudson.com.
So, yeah, take them off the polls. You just go there. Yeah. Sorry.
What's see, there was something else there called Walk. What was that? Because I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Walk was a self-published poem that I also illustrated about 5 or 6 years ago, and I made it into a little book, and that's one of the first things that I made. Yeah, I sort of started there, and after the Piss Take Resume and random adventures in advertising, and now I'm just do this, and yeah.
And that's got something to do with Adam Elliott. I don't know whether people know Adam Elliott won Academy Award for Harvey Crumpet.
Adam's he's working on a new movie now. You could say it's based in Collingwood in the 70s. But I just contacted him and said, would you like to write a blurb for my first book? And he said, yeah. He read it and he said, yeah, you do it. And so we've just been, he did a book launch for Falling Upward a few years ago, the reading. So I love his stuff because it's I was pretty inspired by people like Michael Leunig and Adam Elliott, who was also inspired by that lineage of whimsical weird shit from Melbourne. So it was amazing to get him to write something for it.
It's pretty cool. So is that? Can you still buy that, or is that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, okay. Just off my website. But yeah.
Do you have a favourite poem?
My favourite poem I've written, I didn't write it. I just listened to Mum. I earned her stories. She was tough. She was tough, but it's lengthy. It's probably boring to read, but it's basically a bunch of useless, lovely things that Mum taught me. And it's a series. It's kind of a list poem, but I like that because it's the only poem that I didn't make up. It was just like listening to what she said, and I kind of feel like I captured her voice. But if I had to say one that I wrote, it's really short. It's called Dear Diary. Today I had a lovely nap in the Melbourne cemetery, just practicing. That's because I love going to the Melbourne cemetery in spring and sitting there with a 6-pack and writing and then having a nap. It's beautiful. It's worth it. It's some beautiful gardens there. Worth checking out.
I don't think we can beat that. If you want to get in touch with Darby, you can find him at Instagram Darby_Hudson or website darbyhudson.com. I'd like everyone to thank Darby for coming on. Hand it back to Maddie.
I didn't do that, sorry.
Cheers.
On you, Charlie.
Hello, Shelley. Thanks, Shelley. On you, Darby. Fred, what are you up to?
I just drew Darby.
Excellent.
Think that I shall never see a poem as lovely as Darby.
Darby.
And I did Penny. Everything's got an end in E.
Fred, turn around.
Turn around. There's Penny. And there's Darby.
Again. I'm working on it.
And Loki.
Oh yeah, that's a good look.
Yeah, it's been a while on that one, I think. Beautiful, Fred.
Great stuff as always, Fred.
How do you spell Loki?
L-O-K-I. Thank you.
That's Loki.
On you, Fred.
Sounds like it.
No worries.
Now, once again, Penny Ikinger.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was talking before about collaborating with different musicians. This next song, I chose this song because it's kind of like a slow sort of a lullaby, I think. So that will be for you all, so you can chill out, relax, have another drink, go to bed, feeling good. Collaboration, yes. This song I wrote with Dennis Tech, who you would probably know was a guitarist, is the guitarist in Radio Birdman. And as well as being a mighty fine guitar player, he's also a mighty fine songwriter. And we collaborated on my Tokyo album, which, as I mentioned before, was recorded in Tokyo with Japanese musicians, and Dennis and I wrote a lot of the songs together, and he also played some guitar and harmonica on that album, my album. And I got the original idea for this song from a photograph of Hank Williams, but Dennis and I finished off writing it in a shed in Kiama in New South Wales. And you can, sometimes there's great sounds inside sheds. Beautiful. I don't know why. There might be some technical reason, if there's any architects here or shed experts. Horror.
Lots of horror in sheds.
Yeah, okay. Well, I hope you don't think that about this song. Driving down this lonesome highway, going down this lonesome road. With a ghost in the seat beside me. The road's so dark and the night so cold. With the city lights behind me, and the radio on, all my life's behind me, on my way home. Seven men electrify me. Seven men on the radio. Seven men, come and find me. Seven men, kiss my soul. With the city lights behind me, and the radio on, all my life's behind me, on my way home. The road ahead is unforgiving. The path I'm on is none too clear. My heart is broken and needs mending. Seven men, tell me what I wanna hear. With the city lights behind me, turn the radio on. All my life's behind me. On my way home. On my way home. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Penny.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah.
Now, Lockie, I'm very excited. You brought a Credit Records with you, so some
Yeah,
stuff that you've
brought
released and put out. So let's get them out.
Okay, let's get them out. Well, maybe fire some questions at me.
Okay.
Like,
Well, the
I'll
first
just go through them.
Okay.
Maybe we'll work backwards. So,
Okay.
like,
Phoenix.
I mentioned Beast Records, which is a French label in Rennes, and probably my association with them stretches back maybe 15 years or something. I do a lot of work for them. I do a lot of mastering jobs, preparing audio for vinyl cutting. One of the ones that came across my desk was someone that you might be aware of, Belle Phoenix. So Belle was in Melbourne a couple of years back. We crossed paths briefly. This turns up on my desk, and I was just really impressed with it. So I've been helping her get this one out and about. So I've imported some copies of this one.
Excellent.
She's in Finland at the moment, bandless, tourless. But it's a fantastic record. She's got a great voice. She's really quite a talented songwriter. So that's a ripper. Matt's familiar with this one. Flowers, which is a fantastic lo-fi punk record. And this one's an interesting one. We do a lot of these co-production things with Spooky Records. So bands will come to me and they'll also have their eye on Europe. So it's really great to do these like co-productions with European labels. So this one's actually a Portuguese label called Chapuda that pressed the record, and then we ship from Portugal.
Wow.
And so it gives these bands traction in territories that I just can't get into. So it builds a brand awareness, I suppose you call it, of what I do in Australia. So it's a great way of networking. So this is ultra lo-fi. It's got that classic sort of late 70s punk sound. It was mostly recorded in a rehearsal room, dumped onto a 4-track, a few little bits of vocals I think were done, and then off to the cutting room. So
it's very Joe Retail like.
Okay, yeah, and quite a musician, so that's quite a compliment for those guys. Another record, I actually engineered this one, Barbecue Hack, which is sort of a psyche surf type sound, mostly instrumental with a lot of yelling in French about cooking. But once again, they came to me, asked if I could do some engineering on the project. I really, really liked their sound, thought it had something going for it, so that one came out end of last year. Yeah. And then back to the Beast thing. So you're probably familiar with the Corbett brothers.
Yeah.
So gentle band. So this is his first solo band project with Dylan McCormack. And so this one came out via Beast Records in France, and another co-production. And back when this, probably 15 years old now, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm really not sure. So vinyl wasn't really a thing. So, some of our back catalogue has been reissued on Beast Records as well. So 6 Foot Hick stuff. And they seem to just sell out really quickly. So got a few copies of these things here. And what else?
And the Spencer P. Jones tribute album.
Yeah, that. So that was another Beast Records via James McCann, and James was touring France, and they cooked up this harebrained scheme to get people to cover Spencer's songs, and Spencer was still alive at this time, so Spencer got to hear a lot of this stuff and was quite integral in the selection of tracks. We ended up with something like 57 tracks to sort through. Because of the constraints of vinyl, we've managed to get 23 on volume 1, and there will be another one, and I dare say there might even be a third at some point, you know. But we're booked in to have it released on Spencer's birthday, 20th of October is the release date. It's gone to press, some really great acts on it. Adelita, Violent Femmes.
Geoff Lierse.
Yeah, well, Drones.
Drones, yeah.
Yep, Drones. Kid Congo.
Oh.
God, I can't remember now.
Hoss.
Yeah, Hoss is on it. You probably know it better than I do. I don't know. You tell me.
No, it's all right.
And then the third and final sort of, well, no, I'm always doing fucking shit, so, you know, not necessarily the third and final, but another thing that was inspired by COVID was just like being an engineer, you're very saturated with music, so listening to music is somewhat difficult, and I seemed to have a reasonable amount of time for a change, and I went down some rabbit warrens listening to a lot of French labels product, and it was sort of through a band I've been very fond of called Movie Star Junkies out of Italy, and their record came out on a French label, Teenage Menopause Records.
I love it.
And they're based in Paris. So I started to look at what some of these other labels were doing and thought, oh yeah, great idea. Let's start importing some records. You know, it should be a pretty easy sell. Well, it didn't turn out to be that easy, but I sort of don't care because, like, at some point, probably these records, because they're just great, going to be collectible, and I'll be the only one holding stock. So, you know, one day I sort of think it's going to work out okay. So Movie Star Junkies, who I actually discovered them through Digger and the Pussycats when they toured Europe in like 2006. So like this is a great Italian sort of rock band. They're heavily influenced by birthday party sort of genre stuff. Of course, they've grown outside of that loop as we all develop with our music when we're writers. Steph, the singer of that, also did a lockdown record, which we got talking, you know, because they lost something like 160 shows because of COVID. I was going to be in Europe for the Binnick Festival, which is a Beast Records associated thing up in northern France that a lot of the spooky bands go and play. So that all went to shit, and I just felt really sorry for the Movie Star Junkies. Their album was released. Are we got to wrap it up or not? No, keep going? Okay. And so I just wrote to him and I said, hey, dude, great fucking record. And he goes, I know who the fuck you are, and sends me back a picture of him wearing the Spooky Records T-shirt. So we got into this online conversation. He plays me a record he made in lockdown with his missus called The Cherry Pies, which is sort of fuzz 60s garage. I go, what are you doing with it? He goes, going to cassette. I go, we can do better than that. We talk to Beast Records and we get it onto vinyl. So there's that one as well. All these, and then that led to finding out about a psych band called the Maniacs, Triple X, in Italy as well. Ventre de Biche, which is sort of a French version of Sleaford Mods, perhaps. So I discovered some really interesting stuff. So I started importing that, couldn't sell it. So I put together the Spooky Bootlegs Volume 2, Volume 1 having come out in, I think, 2006. Bit of a break between. So anyway, 20 tracks on that. A lot of this international content is on there. There's tracks from those artists as well. They were happy to get involved. And that's just a Bandcamp. And the profits from that are going to Fly By Night, which is the bat rescue people in Melbourne. Hence, we're big bat fans, always have been. And, they're doing it tough because everyone thinks COVID came from the bats. So, their donations have dropped
Bat bashing.
massively. So, so we're trying to help out there as well. So,
Well, it's a very worthy cause and good on you.
yeah, thanks.
And thanks for tuning in also.
Cool.
Good on you, Loki.
All right.
All right, jump out of the bar. Let's go to the quiz.
Okay.
Oh, what are we playing for? You got a prize, Freddie?
I've got a prize. I'll draw you in an orgy if you win.
Works for me. Okay, question 1. In Clockwork Orange, what song was Alex, the main guy, singing when he committed?
Singing in the rain.
That's 1 point to you.
Singing in the rain. Truly disturbing.
Okay, question 2. Arachibuddyrophobia is a fear of what?
Did you say?
Bats.
No, believe it or not, it's a fear of peanut butter sticking to someone's mouth. Well,
we've all got a fear of that.
I know, it's a huge one. That was a pretty good.
I'll have to write that one down.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Okay, question 3. In 1975, which Aussie band almost single-handedly saved Mushroom Records financially
Skyhooks.
in the album?
Living in the
So, what's the score? So it's 1-1, isn't it?
Zip here, but I was in my shed the other day and found my old copy of Living in the 70s vinyl. And on the back of it, there's a letter to Shirley and of a fan and someone, and it looks like somebody's cut their finger off and posted it. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, that's exactly right.
So check it out. Only on vinyl though.
Okay, question 4. Jerry Leiber and Mike Stoller impacted the music world in what way?
Speller, did you say?
Stoller. Stoller, yeah, Stoller.
Lieber and Stoller, great songwriters. Coasters. I don't know. Oh, well, 60s.
Yeah, Elvis.
Pop songs.
A lot of Elvis songs.
A lot of Elvis songs. Joe, that's right.
Yep, that's it.
Good.
Hunker. They wrote lots of Elvis songs, Pete's telling us.
Hunker, burning the lunch.
Back in the Elvis days, no, they wrote Jailhouse Rock, Hound Dog. Some of the big hits, yeah. Okay, question 5. What gig is on at the Bolo next month that has 3 bands on the bill and one family has a direct link to each of the bands?
The Johnnies.
Yep.
Kind of.
Yeah, you're on the right track there.
On the right track.
What sort of link is it? What's
The link. Lancelot link?
Link meaning?
Close.
Secret chimp.
Lance! Where's Timmy?
I'm unsure of the link.
Okay, rightio. All the Johnnies, Billy Palmer, that's the link. Burn in Hell, Stacey Palmer. The Lewis Presley Experience, Louis Palmer. So the 3 bands are, there you go, the Palmers.
I didn't get the invite.
Of course, Louis and Stacey used to be in Vice Grip Pussies a few years back as well.
I only found that out the other night, all right? Billy, yeah.
When is it?
The 24th of this month. 24th of July, yeah. So it should be
July
good.
already.
Family affair.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
get pissed July, where you get more pissed than
So
Dry July, actually.
So you're not doing dry July, Fred? That's a surprise to me, mate. Is anyone here doing dry July?
wet July. You get wet. You drink
Can I see?
more.
No? Okay. You're making up for everyone else then, are you, Fred?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Put makeup on and drinking more.
Over to you, Pete.
Okay, question 6. Which movie made the mullet, leopard skin jocks, and thongs fashionable in one of the best police chases ever?
Can we throw this to the audience, please, Pete?
Getting square.
Yeah. Great movie.
Oh, there you
wasn't
go.
it?
David
How's he running
Wenham.
down the street though? His jocks and thongs.
You needed tram fare.
Is that on high rotation on your TV and video, Pete?
It's a great
No,
film,
Frank
yeah.
lent me the DVD
David
Oh.
Wenham.
about a year ago. I've still got that, mate.
Yeah. I've got another copy, doesn't it? I play it every Thursday.
Question 7. In the original Batman movie, what did Batman never leave his Batcave without? It saved his life in a terrifying scene involving a helicopter.
Shark repellent.
Correct. And for a bonus point,
You need that.
and for a bonus point, what happened to the shark when Batman sprayed it?
It fell off his leg and then it exploded in the water.
That's correct, yes.
It's good repellent.
Okay, question 8. Oh, that was
Was it the hard work?
It was the movie was getting square.
Yeah, with
David Wenham.
Great movie. Okay, question 8. What year was the Soft Bulletin album released by the Lips, Flaming Lips?
Throw that to the audience, Jack.
1999.
Oh, go Jack.
Jack,
Get a point.
special bonus. Get that man anything he wants.
Okay, bonus point.
He wins an orgy.
And there's a bonus point. What year was it recorded? Over to Jack.
1998.
Lower.
1986.
Higher.
88.
Higher.
1837.
Higher, way higher.
96.
Higher.
97.
Correct, yes.
It's pretty high.
Okay, who am I?
Peter Hearn.
This is 5 points. I was born in 1916 in New York. 5 points, any takers? No? Okay. For 4 points. I was a trained bass baritone in his college years. No? No one? Okay. 3 points. Later in life, he became the head of one of America's most powerful crime agencies.
Bzz. El Capone?
No.
Oh.
2 points. He suffered from agonising stomach pains due to ulcers. For 1 point then. His mother always called him Thaddeus.
Thaddeus?
Yeah.
Like, he was the chief in
The
Get
chief
Smart.
control, that's it. 1 point.
The chief.
Good job.
Should have known that.
His name was Thaddeus.
Edward Platt, yeah, that's it.
We should have used the cone of silence for
Thaddeus.
that one.
And he goes,
Fred won that one.
He's
sure.
Ready, Freddie.
his father's name was Thaddeus.
And they had 99 with the
What was her name?
Barbara Eden. No, not
No,
Barbara
not Barbara Eden. That was I Dream of Jeannie.
Eden.
Yeah, but what was her name? Not 99.
No,
Was it ever
It
revealed?
was always 99, even when they were married.
We must
I think
seek it
Max,
out.
called her 99.
Something to do next lockdown.
So who won that?
Seek it out.
I think it was you, Freddie.
Freddie.
Fred.
You get to draw a picture of yourself in an orgy, Fred.
I do that all the time anyway.
Jack came in close.
I
Absolutely.
just have orgies with all my mates. Because I can.
Well, we'll get to
Okay.
that in a second.
Maddie, I've heard that community singing is really good for the immune system. Do you think this might be a good time now? Or
Why not?
would you like to fire it up? Well, everyone, it's someone's birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Charlie. Happy birthday to you.
Oi. It's your birthday, Charlie. Skull.
Get it, Matty.
We're just about to wrap things up, but before we do, I just want to give a big shout out to episode 3 co-host Flash. GG. I saw him last Thursday. He told me I should never wear this shirt again, and basically he said I should throw it out. And well, then of course he lost his own jacket the other day. That's a story for next time. But anyway, Dave Last said I look like Chairman Mao in this shirt, so I thought, what the hell, I'm going to keep wearing it. So. Anyway, that wraps us up for episode 4. Thanks so much to everyone for coming tonight.
Yay.
Thanks to Fred and Viv, Geoff the Viking. Thanks to Charlie. Thanks to Darby. Thanks to Lofty and Steve on the knobs and twills. Thanks to the Rants for the website, Amy for the poster, Pete for all his help. Thanks to Penny for coming on. And thank you, Lockie. We'll see you in a month's time. I can't think of a sign-off line, so I'll just say, keep on punching.
Big shout out to Matty Munsta, folks. Let's smash it up, Melbourne. Let's get on the beers. It's been way too long since shouted out cheers. Matty and Lockie on the show, and Penny Ikinger. What a rock and roll queen. Let's get out and about and into the scene. Yeah, let's smash it up, Melbourne, tonight. Enjoy live music, folks.